Car came in for a crank no start issue. I suspect the timing chain is having issues. Continue watching to unfold the mysteries behind this Honda.
There's a couple of bolts.
First, I start by removing the two 10mm bolts from the power steering hose that's connected to the power steering pump. The hose can be a little difficult to remove, but with a little wiggle it pops right out. I thread the bolts back in carefully so I wouldn't lose them. It makes reassembly easier and faster in my opinion. I then remove the single 10mm bolt from the hose bracket connecting it to the valve cover. Then I move it out of the way from my adventures of determining the health of the engine. I thread this bolt back in so I wouldn't lose it. I lose everything all the time and I'm only in my 20s.
Just like that. Take this power steering hose. I'm just gonna hold it the way. Wrap it around. Just go to a bigger zone. Then what we're gonna do is
once the hose is out of the way, we will then remove the cover to the spark plugs and coil packs. It's held in my four 10mm bolts. Lift up and place it to the side.
I'm gonna set that to the side.
Next we will remove the coil packs. They also are held in by 10mm bolts. There's 4 to be exact. Place bolts in safe location. Moving on to the next step. Removing the connectors to the ignition coils. They can be a little hard to unclip. Hit it with your purse and it should break free. Take out the ignition coils and place them to the side. Be sure not to mix them up, because an auto technician is somewhere lurking beneath the midst of the local pick and pull junkyard, punching the air.
Gonna pop them out. Next, we're gonna
Next step, working on the right side of the engine. We will be removing two hoses to gain better access to removing the valve cover. With a pair of channel locks in your palms, simply squeeze the clip and slide it back. Sometimes the hoses are stuck. Use the channel locks to twist the hose left and right to break the seal. It should slide right off.
This one slides off. Then there's some clips.
The wiring harness bracket has 2 clips underneath it. Release these clips and move the bracket back a little.
Bottom right here, you have to push it down and slide this little bracket out the way a little bit. Do that right now. There. Now once you set that off, you're able to get these 2 bolts right here, one right there.
Next, I remove these to 10mm bolts to remove the bracket from the valve cover. Don't drop a bolt like me.
I dropped a bolt.
I to make rookie mistakes. Haha.
Let's see where it landed. Pop this out. Just put this bolt somewhere safe.
Then slide the spine of the car. I meant the wiring harness. You know what I mean. Slide it back out of the way from the valve cover so we can lift it up.
The valve cover bolts.
Take out the oil dipstick and prepare for the valve cover bolts to be removed. There's 2 in the back, 1 on the left side, the other 3 across the front. Light work.
Right there.
Just remember, kids, don't drop your bolts. Ha 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 ha.
These little bolts right there. There's a couple of them, just be careful with them. Knock them all loose. This one right here. Oops, drop one. I'll put that back up here. And there's another one right here. Then we just take these nuts off. Just like that. Take them off. Make sure you got all of them off. The valve cover should be ready to come off.
Remove the valve cover bolts along with the keepers that sit in the valve cover. It then should be ready to slide up and off.
These little things. Just keep them all right there.
If it's a little hard to remove the cover, try using a rubber mallet or pry back gently on the valve cover. Sometimes they cement themselves to the head and make it hard to remove, but machine will never defeat man. Once I popped the valve cover off, I went to inspect the timing chain.
Just like that.
Now would be a good time to inspect all internals in the head that are visible. Once I popped the valve cover off, I went to inspect the timing chain.
Check our timing chain.
Now would be a good time to inspect all internals in the head that are visible. Just as I expected, a broken
That's
timing
what the
chain.
cars are going, not to start. I don't know if it's stretched or if it's broke. This thing might be.
Subscribe and like for more automotive adventures.
The guides look okay. Yeah, now we figure out what's wrong with this engine. We let the people know.